Random House Audio presents The Elegant Universe, Superstrings, Hidden Dimensions, and the Quest for the Ultimate Theory by Greene. Read for you by Erik Davies, with prefaces read by the author.
This is the author, Greene. Preface. During the last 30 years of his life, Albert Einstein sought relentlessly for a so-called unified field theory, a theory capable of describing nature's forces within a single, all-encompassing, coherent framework. Einstein was not motivated by the things we often associate with scientific undertakings, such as trying to explain this or that piece of experimental data. Instead, he was driven by a passionate belief that the deepest understanding of the universe would reveal its truest wonder, the simplicity and power of the principles on which it is based. Einstein wanted to illuminate the workings of the universe with a clarity never before achieved, allowing us all to stand in awe of its sheer beauty and elegance. Einstein never realized this dream, in large part because the deck was stacked against him. In his day, a number of essential features of matter and the forces of nature were either unknown or, at best, poorly understood. But during the past half-century, physicists of each new generation, through fits and starts and diversions down blind alleys, have been steadily building on the discoveries of their predecessors to piece together an ever fuller understanding of how the universe works. And now, long after Einstein articulated his quest for a unified theory but came up empty-handed, physicists believe they have finally found a framework for stitching these insights together into a seamless whole, a single theory that, in principle, is capable of describing all phenomena. The theory, superstring theory, is the subject of this book. I wrote The Elegant Universe in an attempt to make the remarkable insights emerging from the forefront of physics research accessible to a broad spectrum of readers, especially those with no training in mathematics or physics. Through public lectures on superstring theory I've given over the past few years, I've witnessed a widespread yearning to understand what current research says about the fundamental laws of the universe, how these laws require a monumental restructuring of our conception of the cosmos, and what challenges lie ahead in the ongoing quest for the ultimate theory. I hope that by explaining the major achievements of physics going back to Einstein and Heisenberg, and describing how their discoveries have grandly flowered through the breakthroughs of our age, this book will both enrich and satisfy this curiosity. I also hope that The Elegant Universe will be of interest to readers who do have some scientific background. For science students and teachers, I hope this book will crystallize some of the foundational material of modern physics, such as special relativity, general relativity, and quantum mechanics, while conveying the contagious excitement of researchers closing in on the long-sought unified theory. For the avid reader of popular science, I've tried to explain many of the exhilarating advances in our understanding of the cosmos that have come to light during the last decade. And for my colleagues in other scientific disciplines, I hope this book will give an honest and balanced sense of why string theorists are so enthusiastic about the progress being made in the search for the ultimate theory of nature. Superstring theory casts a wide net. It is a broad and deep subject that draws on many of the central discoveries in physics. Since the theory unifies the laws of the large and of the small, laws that govern physics out to the farthest reaches of the cosmos and down to the smallest speck of matter, there are many avenues by which one can approach the subject. I have chosen to focus on our evolving understanding of space and time. I find this to be an especially gripping developmental path, one that cuts a rich and fascinating swath through the essential new insights. Einstein showed the world that space and time behave in astoundingly unfamiliar ways. Now, cutting-edge research has integrated his discoveries into a quantum universe with numerous hidden dimensions coiled into the fabric of the cosmos. Dimensions whose lavishly entwined geometry may well hold the key to some of the most profound questions ever posed. Although some of these concepts are subtle, we will see that they can be grasped through down-to-earth analogies, and when these ideas are understood, they provide a startling and revolutionary perspective on the universe. Throughout this book, I've tried to stay close to the science while giving the reader an intuitive understanding, often through analogy and metaphor, of how scientists have reached the current conception of the cosmos. Although I avoid technical language and equations, because of the radically new concepts involved, the reader may need to pause now and then to mull over a section here or ponder an explanation there in order to follow the progression of ideas fully. A few sections of Part 4, focusing on the most recent developments, are a bit more abstract than the rest. I've taken care to forewarn the reader about these sections and to structure the text so that they can be skimmed or skipped with minimal impact on the book's logical flow. It is perhaps not surprising that my own research is focused on the impact superstring theory has on our conception of space and time, and in a couple of the later chapters I describe some of the discoveries in which I had the fortune to take part. Although I hope the reader will enjoy reading these inside accounts, I realize that they may leave an exaggerated impression of the role I have played in the development of superstring theory. So let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the more than 1,000 physicists around the world who are crucial and dedicated participants in the effort to fashion the ultimate theory of the universe. Preface to the second edition. While writing The Elegant Universe, I was aware that its readership might be meager. After all, a book about the challenges and triumphs of the modern quest for the deepest laws of nature is not something you imagine breezing through at the beach or curling up with just before going to sleep. And a book that takes on such an abstract subject with the intention of emphasizing the science, not the scientific personalities or the historical anecdotes, might seem to cater to an even smaller audience. But this didn't particularly trouble me, as I told myself frequently, and no doubt with a tinge of melodrama, that if I reached one person, introducing them to a new spectrum of ideas, a new way of thinking about themselves and their place in the cosmos, that would be enough. Be it a young student trying to decide on a direction of study, a working professional seeking something beyond the daily grind, or a retiree who'd finally found the time to read up on developments in science, if I could help guide them toward the new view of the universe emerging from modern physics, the task of writing The Elegant Universe would have been worth the effort. That thought, at the very least, helped me through the demanding times that many an author encounters in the midst of a substantial writing project. I was also encouraged repeatedly by audiences attending various general-level lectures I've been giving on relativity, quantum mechanics, and my own specialty, superstring theory, who seemed enthralled by the strange and startling ideas emerging from cutting-edge research. A universe in which space and time are malleable, a universe with more dimensions than we see, a universe in which the fabric of space can rip, a universe in which everything might be composed of the vibrations of ultra-microscopic loops of energy called strings, was a universe that got people excited and one that many wanted to understand better. The Elegant Universe grew out of those lectures, as my intention was to write a book for those without formal knowledge of mathematics or physics to gain such a familiarity, although the book agent to whom I first showed my proposal rejected it outright, understandably predicting that the subject was too specialized to attract a mainstream publisher. I could feel enthusiasm for the science when I was out lecturing in the field. It was palpable. The Elegant Universe tapped into this enthusiasm, and the gratifying response it has received is testament to the innate drive so many of us have to explore thoroughly and courageously this place we call home. It has also affirmed my belief that physics provides an author with some of the most wonderful material imaginable. We all love a good story. We all love a tantalizing mystery. We all love the underdog pressing onward against seemingly insurmountable odds. We all, in one form or another, are trying to make sense of the world around us. And all of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?